I just got out here on the water in Boca Ciega Bay, and I'm going to be doing some mullet fishing today. A lot of you guys know my full-time job is beekeeping, but here in Florida in the summertime is pretty much opposite of the rest of the country. Our sales slow down around here, and so I get out and do some summer mullet fishing to help make ends meet with the family. And so that's what I'm going to be doing today. And also I've been working on developing a new recipe. It's a mangrove honey mullet spread, smoked mullet spread. And so that's what I'm going to be catching some mullet for today. And then anything extra I get is going to be going to the market. And most of that ends up in New York for food. Oyster bar. Thought I'm trying to cross. I just got one of them. First one of the day. The species of mullet I'm fishing today are called black mullet. In our area we have black mullet and silver mullet, and the black mullet are much bigger and they are really the only ones that have a food market value. But kind of their cycle here is in the winter time they spawn, usually December, January. They make their way offshore and spawn, and when they're getting ready to do that, about November, they start gathering up. Ooh, there was a mullet right there on the oysters. But they start gathering up and they stop feeding. So they really don't have any food in them from around, I don't know, November till February when they're done spawning. And then they start getting back on the flats in the springtime and start feeding again. And then all summer they just fatten up, preparing for the next spawn. And so summer mullet are some of the best mullet you can eat. They have really good fat content, nice oily fish. I love them for frying, for grilling, for smoking. Obviously that's the most popular. And in this area they're just a really, I think, undervalued food fish. Most of the mullet I catch in the winter time, the roe goes to Taiwan mostly. And then in the summertime, most of the mullet I'm catching is going to New York, to restaurants up in New York. And just not a lot of people eat it around here. So I want to utilize local ingredients more. And so that's one of the reasons I'm trying to develop this recipe for a smoked mullet fish dip. It's just to get the word out there in this area that mullet really are an awesome fish to eat. It's high tide, I'm going through a low bridge. So I gotta duck down here. Got a few inches of clearance. Definitely gotta pay attention going through these bridges and not be on your phone texting or something, get knocked off the boat. I'm catching a few fish here right off the bat, which is awesome. Right now I'm getting ready to go to an island. What the mullet end up doing is on the lower tides, they get out in the flats and they feed on the grass flats. And then when the tide gets high, for protection, they come close to shore, hang out around the mangroves. This island has a huge flat, but not a lot of mangrove cover. So they tend to just hang out near the shore. We caught them pretty good yesterday there on the high tide. So I'm gonna cruise over there. And most likely going to be getting out and wading up on these ones and see if I can get some good shots on them. So here is the island that I'm going to be fishing next. I'm going to be looking, trying to see where the fish are. One of the nice things about mullet is they jump out of the water, and so that's something that will help us identify where they're at and which direction they're moving. I actually just saw one jump right on the outer tip over here of the island. So I'm gonna put the boat up here on this beach on the backside of the island and then get out and do a little wade fishing with the light net. And so here are the mangroves that the mullet, during the high tide, they'll get up under those roots where they're protected from predators like sharks and dolphins. And we have a couple different varieties. This is a red mangrove here, and these ones are already going to seed. And then right over here is the black mangrove, and these have the white flowers blooming, and these are the ones that the bees really like. I see bees already on here working these, and this is what we make honey from, is the black mangrove. And I love being out here seeing these bees, because even when I'm not out working bees, I see the bees and I'm reminded that my bees never take a day off. They're always out here working. And then over here is another species of mangrove. This is called a white mangrove, and they're blooming right now. And the bees do work these, but not as much as the black mangrove. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get my net ready and kind of walk around to these points, try to identify where these mullet are hiding out, and spook them out of the bushes. And as they come out of the bushes, I want to be ready with the net to catch them. Tide's still coming in. Looks like the mullet are just starting to come off the flat back to the island. I just saw one jump out here. Ooh, I heard another one jump. Peek out here. These mullet do have good eyesight. If they see you or your shadow, they'll spook, and so you got to kind of hide in these bushes and sneak up on them. I hear mullet jumping off this point. I don't have a good stand for my camera with me right now. I have it more set up to film from the boat, so I'm not sure what kind of footage I'll actually get of casting these mullet here. But I want to make sure I have a good idea of where they're at and take advantage of the situation before I just start throwing the net wherever. I didn't get that on film, but I just got a really good cast on these mullet. They were coming back, working their way back to the island. It's a real nice fish. Got to pull these out of the water a little bit. It's a net full. I'm gonna work these over to the beach around the corner here and bring the boat a little closer. It seems like all the fish are coming off this flat right to this point, so I'm just gonna hang out here as the tide comes in and ambush them. Almost back to the boat here. Hang up this lens a little. Almost back to the boat. And I'm gonna move the boat over, try to get the boat set up hidden in the mangroves right to where I think those mullet are coming to, and just try to ambush them from the boat so I don't have to waste time walking back and forth and unloading fish. If I can get some more casts like this, it's gonna add up real quick. Nice big fish too. Beautiful fish. This is called clearing the net. Getting all the fish out. It's a lot of work. Especially when they spin and tangled up. One more in the net. That's it. All right. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 big mullet. One cast. That's good for summertime. And then another really important thing, especially with mullet fishing in the summer, is to get these fish on ice quickly. And what we do is make what we call saltwater brine. It's a slush with ice and salt water. It gets really cold, below freezing. Throw the fish in there and it cools them down right away. In the summer, this water's hot, these fish are hot, and you need a lot of ice to keep them quality. Let's go catch some more.